my Scrappy friends. So, I have a special treat for you today. Today, we are going to be doing a Scrappy Playdate with Alicia, and I will make sure I link her channel below so that you guys can check her out. And we're going to be using this sketch from Chemo, and that I will also link below. And that's when she was doing scrap to sketch. So uh, you can find that on her blog. I think we found that on Pinterest, but so we're going to be using a sketch today. And so me and Alicia are going to be doing these challenges once a week. We're going to try to do it on Saturday, and I hope that you guys can join along with us. I would love to see a whole bunch of other scrappers get involved and do videos or like share your layouts with us. But so we're gonna use that Chamel, like I said. We're gonna use that, and so this is my interpretation, and I really, really wanted to do something different with it because it is so simple, and Chamel is really good about that. Not overcomplicating a sketch so that you can actually play around with it. Sometimes I feel that sketches are harder to use because there's so much detail on the sketch that it's like, oh. Now, and if you're doing a sketch for yourself, then it really isn't all that big of a deal. If you do it like really complicated. But if you want a mass array of different people using it, you do want to keep it simple, right? I mean, and I find that that's the easier way for me to let my style shine. And so I am just using some gelatos on the stencil, and I'm using a paintbrush to put it on because I want most of it to show, but I knew that it was going to bleed underneath, and I was okay with that. So here I'm going to add a little bit of acrylic white paint to the gelato that's there, and then I'm also going to spray in some Lindy Stamp Gang just to give it a little bit more of a vivid color.
Trust her, she knows what she's doing.
That's my husband. He's apparently playing along with me and Alicia too. Uh, so I wanted one side to be a little bit different than the other side. I mean, I know that this is pretty much where a lot of stuff is going to go. So you're not really going to see much of it. So I don't mind that it's a little different. And I like that some spots are more white. And I'm just going to go over this one where I just used the gelatos just to tone it down a little bit. And so I'm going to clean this mat off. And this is a new Heidi Swap mat. I just got this month. I actually got it on sale because I had a coupon for like 40% off or something. So I was like, woot. So I got it like half off. So I'm just looking through the Amy Tangerine collection and the 6x6 pad. Now, I just bought this in a 6x6 pad. One, I get a kit, so I knew that I probably will be getting quite a bit of the papers, and I wasn't sure how much I was going to like the line. I mean, I was pretty sure I probably would like it, and I actually really wish I just went ahead and got all the papers. So probably at some point I will end up getting all of them because I just love the watercolor looks of this paper. It makes it really easy to use because it's not so complicated. So I'm just looking through and I'm kind of trying to decide how I want to execute because my first thought was to make it look kind of like a quilt or like piece it together. So I was thinking about maybe cutting it in fours or in half. So I'm just trimming off the tops a little bit. And you can see my kids' hands a little because they were up for part of this. And this is during the day, which is why the light isn't as good. I find that during the day the lighting isn't that good. So, which is funny because the light comes in from my window. But anywho, so I'm cutting three of them in half, and I'm trying to take and use like not really really bold papers. So I have that teal like check mark. I have that grid with the orange, and then a gray polka dotty looking one. So I'm playing around because I really have no idea, and I'm like, how am I gonna fit? So at this point, I look online to see how they used it, to see if you really could fit three pieces of 6x6 paper on your page the way that they had it in the sketch and make it look well. And you can. I was just having a really hard time because I cut it. So this is why I take all three of them. I'm like, okay, how will it look with whole pieces? But I knew I didn't want it to be. So I played around a while and then I came back later in the night and that's how I ended up. So you can see I had them interlocking and I'm going to put them like this. I really like that. It kind of has like a quilty piecey look, but it's very like artistic-y, I guess. I don't know. Is that a word? Um, it just I thought that that fit my style a little bit more than maybe just trying to make it look like a quilt, I guess. And really that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to take this sketch and make it me, right? Because that's the whole point of using a sketch is like a springboard. And that's really what me and Alicia are trying to accomplish with this video series is finding ways to help get out of like help and you have a springboard to create different things and we're both new relatively newer scrapbookers but it's easy even as newer scrapbookers to get in a rut and just feel like oh here's the same layout so we want to challenge ourselves and to have someone to kind of help us keep accountable that we're trying new things and that we're, you know, sharpening our skills. And it's always fun to scrap with a friend, right? So I'm so excited to do this. So this challenge. I really hope that you guys make something and share it because it's just really fun to see what you guys come up with and the things that you guys do just from like watching our videos and everything. It's like it really inspires me to keep striving to do more and to get better. Um, so here I'm just piecing everything together, and this is probably what took the longest because I really wanted to make sure I got it pretty close to how I had it and to make it look pretty symmetrical. And and of course you see, and I used that pencil, and I did really really lines, and of course my head's in the way, and there's no way I could help it. So I'm sorry about that. Get to see all my gray hairs in there.
What gray hair?
So
You guys, no gray hair.
I'm just putting these together, and I'm really trying to take my time and figure out how I had it before I put it in, so I don't mess it up. Because once you ATG something, and those 6x6 papers aren't as thick as if you just got a plain piece of paper like individual, and I found that even just by getting like a pad. The pads just I don't feel are as good of a quality cardstock usually. So it's a lot thinner and I really didn't want to rip since this is all I have of most of these papers. So, and I found that even the lines that I did were really hard to follow. So, so even if you try to make it perfect, as you can see, it took me a long time to do this. And I'm making sure I keep everything inked up because I'm not going to show extra emphasis to this background by doing um, outlining, but I do want you to be able to see the outsides of it. So, and I make sure I run each side, even though some of them are going to be pieced together. And I made sure that the checkered one comes together, the the gritty type one comes together. So I really wanted to make sure that I got them pieced together in the right spots and yeah. Talk about take a while. I mean, I forget. I think this took me about an hour and 45 minutes to do the whole thing all together. And I am using a smudge proof resistant eraser. So this eraser is supposed to help so I don't have any lines. Because I use just plain white cardstock, and I knew that that gets dirty really easily. And yeah, I have, watercolor on it. I really didn't want too many the pencil lines to smudge on it. So, and I did it really, really light. So, and I just put I tried not to overdo the glue in case I did have to kind of pull it up. And then I realized here after the end that all my edges, I didn't want them to come flapping up. Now, a lot of times when I do layers, I do like them to like show that they're layers, but I really wanted these to kind of like lay flat because I'm going to be putting my photos on. So here I have two photos. And I chose to do two because I am trying to stretch myself. And a lot of times I rather just do one photo because I have more space to play artistically, right? But sometimes you need more than one photo, like in this situation. Um, this is a photo of my daughter, and we're at the clinic where she gets her chemo once a month. And and that's what this layout is about our day. So, and so here I'm going to back this up. And I'm trying to make sure that I back it up with the papers that match the other papers, but that are contrasting a little. So this one has that orangey color, but it kind of stands out a little bit. And so I'm going to edge this one. And I don't even remember what I edged it with. I just used the Prima edgers. I know some of them I used teal. So I'm kind of playing around with exactly how I want it because I wasn't sure. I thought maybe I'd want them kind of up like that, but then I was like, do I want them sideways? Like, I don't know. I probably was overthinking it. Now, this is a picture of the ocean. After we were done with my daughter's chemo, I took her to the beach on the way home. A lot of times after she has her appointments, whoever takes her, me or my husband, we like to take her and do something special, whether we go and get pancakes after or we take her to the beach or something special. Just because, I mean, we spend all morning into the afternoon at the clinic and it's not necessarily all that fun for a 5-year or a 6-year old. um, yeah, we bring stuff to do. Yeah, there's usually other kids, so it's not like she's completely bored, but it's not, you know, our favorite thing to do ever. um, though we love our nurses and everything. So we try to do something special. And it kind of overrides the fact. I mean, she was so excited all afternoon. She was talking about all the way on the way to the beach because it took a while to get to the beach because I wanted to go to the North Shore area because that's where a lot of the waves are and it's still wintertime. And so they tend to be quite a bit bigger and so yeah, so I'm just playing around with these tags that I cut out from my Tim Holtz die because I wasn't sure if I wanted to add some. So I had one that is that gold one with the POW paper, which is amazing, though it didn't cut very well with my cutter. And then that small little tag is the paper is Webster's Pages, and it's a vellum. And that one is supposed to look like it's from the line that was from the summer line. So it's beachy. So it is supposed to look like beach. So I'm looking through these die cuts that I cut with the die from the Stitch collection. So there's a lot of hearts and love, and there's the word lucky. And so I'm looking through because I know I want to use some of these since I use mostly stitched stuff that I wanted to kind of stick with the line. Sometimes that makes it easier if you stick with stuff that are from the same line. Now, not all the die papers that I cut were from that collection. I think the one that I use is actually from Maggie Holmes. Yeah, the the Lucky that I end up using is from Maggie Holmes. I did do one in the that flower print, but I really liked the way that the green and blues and yellows worked with the colors that I already had on my page. So here I'm going to cut out a couple of different little pieces from the cut apart paper from the pad because I figure I'll use a couple of those. And the one off to the side says, "Today I will do." And I actually meant to cross off "Today or something like that, but or cross out "do." I didn't do a very good job crossing off "do." And then that one says "going on an adventure," which is what we were doing that day. And let me tell you, this picture is an amazing picture, but it was even better in person. Sometimes I feel like the pictures that I take just don't do justice. Like sometimes I think the pictures actually look a little bit better than what it actually looks like in real person. Like there's a lot of times I see pictures of Hawaii and I'm like, man, someone photoshopped that, or they took that with a really great camera because not every single shot that you take with a camera looks amazing, or not every place that you look. But today, that day, and maybe it was just that we were in the hospital all day and, all that fun stuff, right? Being in the hospital all day, um, coming out to the ocean, and that side of the island is just paradise. I mean, there's palm trees all over the place, and there's not that many well, comparative to the other side of the island, it's a lot more it's more villagey, so you feel that homey feel, that living on a deserted island type of feel when you're driving down the road. It's just a one, 2-lane road with like very little lights or anything. So, but it was a little hazy, so it actually was kind of hard to take a nice photo because of the humidity. My camera was getting all foggy, but this one turned out really nice. But it was even better in person. The water was so green. We wanted to jump in. I had a hard time keeping my daughter away from the water. But you can't go swimming there. They have everything like blocked off. This is at Sunset Beach, and in the wintertime because the waves get really, really big. So pretty much only if you're a surfer, that's, or if you're used to that kind of waves. I mean, it wasn't as big as what I've seen at other times, but so in that little box, and I don't know if I wrote it yet, I put "Today I will drink from a coconut," because also part of what we did was when we were leaving, we got they have locals will sit in their trucks and have, coconuts in the back of their truck, and they'll just sell coconuts and they'll cut it, they'll cut it up for you right there when you buy it, and then you can get a straw and just drink the coconut, the cold coconut juice. So it was really, really fun. And we usually don't do a lot of that. Like they do that for the tourists, of course. But, every once in a while it's kind of fun to have. And it was a hot day because the sun was shining over there. And so it was nice to have a nice cold drink. My daughter, she loved it. So she was very excited and very happy, and she didn't want to leave, and I felt bad because we couldn't stay very long. But so I'm gonna take that heart from the Dear Lizzie stickers, and I was thinking about using those. So I had a hard time kind of deciding what stickers I wanted, and I decided on those LE Studios, and that's in like a gray font. And I'm gonna write adventures on that. And I actually had to write it down because I'm like, I'm gonna mess up. I knew I was gonna spell it wrong if I didn't write it out. I'm a horrible speller. I really didn't want to have to undo it. I mean, those letters come up pretty well, so And I kind of let it flow with the photo since the photo isn't completely straight. And I like it that it's on an angle. It kind of adds extra, a little bit of extra stuff. And I kept my grouping, not trying to do groupings, but I kept my groupings kind of in a triangle. So, so I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to use these yo-yo thickers. And I don't remember if they're Amy Tan or if they're Dear Lizzie. I don't know. But they're in a nice gray. So they really like a typewriter gray font. So they match the adventure. And that says day. And then I'm going to use some Heidi Swap. I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough at first of those, but those are like glitter letters. And so I had enough to spell chemo. So the title's going to be Chemo Date Adventures. And really what I wanted to accomplish with this page was to remember the good thing. Like, yeah, it sucks. My daughter has to get chemo. You know, besides going into the clinic once a month, she has to have chemo every day. And it sucks. You know, I hate that I have to give my daughter this. But also, if she didn't have it, you know, she wouldn't be here. And, you know, the cancer's gone and she's doing really well despite a lot of stuff. So, you know, I really want to remember the fact that later on that life wasn't, you know, sad faces and uh, that it wasn't all bad all the time, that we still got to have fun and go to the beach after chemo. And, you know, so it's like, I think a lot of times in our life we can make a bad situation better by just looking at it a little different. And so this is just my way. So I'm going to use this black and white stripe from Maggie Holmes. I really think that that is going to be the best thing because at first I wasn't sure if I was going to even align that paper up with something, but I really thought it needed something just to kind of ground it, even though I do end up doing my journaling around the edge too. Um, I really like the way that that black and white, it's because it's almost a gray, so it kind of just really brings everything in. And I really try not to cut too much off because I did a lot of work on that background, and I want to be able to see as much of it as possible because those teals really go with the water. It just has that light. I really love the way that this turned out, and I loved using this sketch, and so I can't wait. I'm not sure if we're going to do a sketch every single week. We may. We might switch it up and use like a mood board sometimes, and but uh but I really hope you guys take a look at that sketch and try it out and link us a copy of it. And don't forget to go over to Alicia's duh, I can't talk now. Alicia's channel, and her YouTube name is Alicia Jinhee, and she used to be on Saturday Stash Dive. So they are actually going to be doing a call soon. So if you guys want to keep your ear out for that, if anybody is watching and interested, that is a fun group that puts together lots of inspiration of using Stash. So I'm just doing my journaling, and I pretty much just say that, well, here, I'll read what it says real quick. It says, after a long day at the hospital getting chemo, blood work, and meds, I thought a nice trip to the North Shore was needed. You were so excited to dip your toes in the warm sand. It was hard to get you to go, but the beauty of, the ocean called to you. So yeah. Oh, and then it says we got a big coconut to drink on the way home. And so I'm just going to add a few enamel dots. I thought about using like some splatters, but because of this paper is not the best quality paper, I don't think it splatters very well with the sprays that I have right now. So yeah. And I kind of move them around because at first I just put way too many. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't like it. So, and I'm not normally one to like second guess myself, but I do. I just thought it was too many. So here are the close-ups, and I hope you guys really enjoyed watching my layout, and I hope this inspires you guys to use a sketch or use something as a springboard to do something new and to scrap something. I don't know, to just scrap. Get in your room and scrap, guys. So I hope you'll go and visit Alicia's channel and watch hers, and I will see you next week with another Scrappy Playdate. Talk to you guys later. Bye.